Alrighty, here we go with the reading of the last couple chapters of Jeremiah here. Sorry if the camera's a little weird, I gotta try and read it. This one guy, as another editor friend always said, was just one guy here, right? But then, like, me, wait a minute, like everybody gets a little bubble boy here. But yeah, like this one guy, like what the hell? All right, so judgment on Philistia. And keep in mind, it's going to tell you when the word of the Lord came to him, right? And it is interesting that, like, these last set of, like, prophecies, like, this chunk must have come to him all, like, then. Does it mean it's about that time that the prophecy refers to? No, he's just telling you when the word of the Lord came to him. But it's interesting that he puts it at the end and not, like, chronologically when, like, whereas with other stuff, like, he does put it there, right? I mean, he must have had, like, some purpose to it. Pretty sure he compiled his own book. Even the Jews say that about it. Like, God assures him, like, I mean, we don't know what happened. I mean, it's sad. And the last thing you get is Lamentations, and he's not happy because it's Lamentations. All right, so whatever it is, we're just going to read it, and if it refers to things from yesteryear, like some of it might, but then, like, you start to realize this has got trouble written all over it for, like, like something with the Daniel, like 1290 stuff. It's not the end of the world one. Like, the world doesn't end. That's what's funny about it. It's just the end times one, the latter days one, the day of the Lord, like this one. All right. But it's fun to, say that because, like, it doesn't say that. It does say he'll make a new earth and a new, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, he makes clear it's like a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? Like a earth born again thing or whatever. Those damn born again. Like, that was like, what's wrong with you, man? I'm not like that. But you, like, then there's the Christian ones. That's an atheist. You can't hang out. I'm telling you this on your friends. You're dead to me. Yeah, great. Like, that's fine, shitbag. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Like, you're a rip-off deal. And you're a little plotting something against a little bubble boy, like, but you're still Christian, right? That's your intro to the reading. Here we go. And I'm just going to plow through it, as they say. But I'll try to read some poems of playing. I mean, it's fun. 3 minutes in, and here we go. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines before Pharaoh attacked Gaza. So there must have been a time when Pharaoh attacked Gaza, and before that, the word of the Lord, before that, came to him. And this is judgment on Philistines. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah the prophet against the Philistines before Pharaoh attacked Gaza. Thus says God, behold, waters rise out of the north, and shall be an overflowing flood. They shall overflow the land and all that is in it, the city and those who dwell within. Then the men shall cry, and all the inhabitants of the land shall wail, at the noise of the stamping hooves of his strong horses, at the rushing of his chariots, at the rumbling of his wheels. The fathers will not look back for their children, lacking courage, because of the day that comes to plunder all the Philistines, to cut off from Tyre and Sidon every helper who remains. For the Lord shall plunder the Philistines, the remnant of the country of Caphtor. Boldness has come upon Gaza. Baldness has come upon Gaza. Ashkelon is cut off with the remnant of their valley. How long will you cut yourself? O you sword of the Lord, O you sword of God, how long until you are quiet? Put yourself up into your scabbard. Rest and be still. How can it be quiet, seeing God has given it a charge against Ashkelon and against the seashore? There God has appointed it. So that's the judgment on Philistines. That's the whole thing. All right? I could read it real well and read. Thus says the Lord, behold, waters rise out of the north, and shall be an overflowing flood. They shall overflow the land and all that is in it, the city and those who dwell within. Then the men shall cry, and all the inhabitants of the land shall wail, at the noise of the stamping hooves of his strong horses, at the rushing of his chariots, at the rumbling of his wheels. The fathers will not look back for their children, lacking courage, because of the day that comes to plunder all the Philistines, to cut off from Tyre and Sidon every helper who remains. For the Lord shall plunder the Philistines, the remnant of the country of Caphtor. Baldness has come upon Gaza. Ashkelon is cut off, with the remnant of their valley. How long will you cut yourself? O you sword of the Lord, how long until you are quiet? Put yourself up into your scabbard. Rest and be still. How can it be quiet, seeing the Lord has given it a charge against Ashkelon and against the seashore? There he has appointed it. Chapter 48. Judgment on Moab. And if you can see irony written all over this, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, we got them bombs, the Moabite bombs, with the Moabs, mother-of-all bombs. See, the Moab is mightier than the Moabite, is mightier than the, communist. That'd be my 2 cents. At least one's theist, right? Chapter 48. Judgment on Moab. And I'm sorry to have to read all this crap. I mean, it gets mean. I mean, it's war about it. But hey, if they can make the John Wick movies, I can read like the bookie Jeremiah, right? If people can write cuties, I can read this. I know that about it. Chapter 48. Judgment on Moab. Against Moab. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Woe to Nebo, for it is plundered. Kirjathaim is shamed and taken. The high stronghold is shamed and dismayed. No more praise of Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against her. Come, and let us cut her off as a nation. You also shall be cut down, O madmen. The sword shall pursue you. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, plundering and great destruction. I'll read that quicker. Woe to Nebo, for it is plundered. Kirjathaim is shamed and taken. The high stronghold is shamed and dismayed. No more praise of Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against her. Come and let us cut her off as a nation. You also shall be cut down, O madmen. The sword shall pursue you. A voice of crying shall be from Horonaim, plundering and great destruction. Moab is destroyed. Her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. For in the ascent of Luhith they ascend with continual weeping. For in the descent of Horonaim the enemies have heard a cry of destruction. Flee, save your lives, and be like the juniper in the wilderness. For because you have trusted in your works and your treasures, you also shall be taken. And Chemosh shall go forth into captivity, his priests and his princes together, and the plunderer shall come against every city. No one shall escape. The valley also shall perish, and the plain shall be destroyed, as the Lord has spoken. Give wings to Moab, that she may flee and get away, for her cities shall be desolate. without any to dwell in them. Cursed is he who does the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed is he who keeps back his sword from blood. Moab has been at ease from his youth. He has settled on his dregs and has not been emptied from vessel to vessel, nor has he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remained in him, and his scent has not changed. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, says Yahweh, that I shall send him wine workers who will tip him over and empty his vessels and break the bottles. Moab shall be ashamed of Chemosh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their competence. How can you say, we are mighty and strong men for the war? Moab is plundered and gone up from her cities. Her chosen young men have gone down to the slaughter, says the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. You know, God of the armies or whatever. More like God of the soldiers, but something like that. You know, the angels and the heavenly hosts, like the real one. How can you say we are mighty and strong men for the war? Moab is plundered and gone up from her cities. Her chosen young men have gone down to the slaughter, says the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. Like, get out of here. Right? Gong. The calamity of Moab is near at hand, and his affliction comes quickly. Bemoan him, all you who are around him, and all you who know his name. Say how the strong staff is broken, the beautiful rod. O daughter inhabiting Dibon, come down from your glory and sit and thirst, for the plunderer of Moab has come against you. He has destroyed your strongholds, O inhabitant of Aroer or something. Aroer? I don't know. Aroer? I don't know how you'd say that. O inhabitant of Aroer. Let me try again. Who cares though? Who cares? You can. O daughter inhabiting Dibon, come down from your glory and sit and thirst, for the plunderer of Moab has come against you. He has destroyed your strongholds. He has destroyed your strongholds, O inhabitant of Ur. Stand by the way and watch. Ask him who flees and her who escapes. Say, what has happened? Moab is shamed, for he is broken down. Wail and cry, telling in Arnon that Moab is plundered. And judgment has come on the plain country. O Holon and Jaza and Mephaath. O Dibon and Nebo and Beth Diblathaim. O Kirjathaim and Beth Gamul and Beth Meon. O Kerioth and Basra. On all the cities of the land of Moab, far or near, the horn of Moab is cut off, and his army is broken, says the Lord, says God. Make him drink, because he exalted himself against God. Moab shall wallow in his vomit, and he shall also be in derision. For was not Israel a derision to you? Was he found among thieves? For whenever you speak of him, you shake your head in scorn. You who dwell in Moab, leave the cities and dwell on the rock, and be like the dove which makes her nest in the sides of the cave's mouth. We have heard the pride of Moab, parentheses, he is exceedingly proud, in parentheses. We have heard the pride of Moab, of his loftiness and arrogance and pride, and of the haughtiness of his heart. I know his wrath, says God, but it is not right. His lies have made nothing right. Therefore I will wail for Moab, and I will cry out for all Moab. I will mourn for the men of Kir-Heres. O vine of Sibmah, I will weep for you with the weeping of Jazer. Your plants have gone over the sea. They reach to the sea of Jazer. The plunderer has fallen on your summer fruit and your vintage. Joy and gladness are taken from the plentiful field and from the land of Moab. I have caused wine to fail from the wine presses. No one will tread with joyous shouting, not joyous shouting. Makes clear there might be shouting, but it won't be joyous shouting. Savvy? Verse 34. From the cry of Heshbon to Elilah and to Jahaz, they have uttered their voice from Zor to Horonaim, like a 3-year-old heifer. For the waters of Nimrim shall also shall be desolate. All right. Joy and gladness are taken from the plentiful field and the land of Moab. Joy and gladness are taken from the plentiful field and from the land of Moab. I have caused wine to fail from the wine presses. No one will tread with joyous shouting, not joyous shouting. From the cry of Heshbon to Elilah and to Jahaz, they have uttered their voice. From Zor to Horonaim, like a 3-year-old heifer. For the waters of Nimrim also shall be desolate. Moreover, says the Lord, I will cause to cease in Moab the one who offers sacrifices in the high places and burns incense to his gods. Therefore my heart shall wail like flutes for Moab, and like flutes my heart shall wail for the men of Kir-Heres. Therefore the riches they have acquired have perished. For every head shall be bald, and every beard clipped. On all the hands shall be cuts, and on the loins sackcloth. A general lamentation on all the housetops of Moab, and in the streets, for I have broken Moab like a vessel in which is no pleasure, says the Lord. They shall wail, how she is broken down, how Moab has turned her back with shame. So Moab shall be a derision and a dismay to all those about her. For thus says the Lord, for thus says God, behold, one shall fly like an eagle and spread his wings over Moab. Kerioth is taken, and the strongholds are surprised. The mighty men's hearts in Moab on that day shall be like the heart of a woman in birth pangs, and Moab shall be destroyed as a people, because he exalted himself against the Lord. Fear and the pit and the snare shall be upon you, O inhabitants of Moab, says the Lord. Now, he says that a lot, God does, but whatever he means by that, he means it. He understates it. Fear and the pit and the snare shall be upon you. Particularly the snare, that mighty, dagger-like snare he's got with the fire and the crown. And, he's just God about it, and, there's karma and stuff. I don't know, he's you're playing a chess game, trying to figure out, but he just keeps letting you move every piece right on up until he moves once and just splats and, ruins the game. Because, no, you won't get your way. That's stupid. But, like sand through the hourglass, so in the days of our lives, and like the heart of a woman in birth pangs, Moab shall be destroyed as a people because he exalted himself against the Lord. Mighty men's hearts. I'll just read. Let me just back up. This is the end, and then I pause it, and then we got another 25-minute clip with the rest of it, Sammy. Because we're on 49, so it's just 49, 50, 51, and a short 52. But if you think about it, we've done 46, 47, and this is 48. And this is one of the long ones, like I said. So here's the end of it, about a minute left, all right? For thus says the Lord, behold, one shall fly like an eagle and spread his wings over Moab. Kerioth is taken and the strongholds are surprised. Mighty men's hearts in Moab on that day shall be like the heart of a woman in birth pangs. And Moab shall be destroyed as a people because he exalted himself against God, against the Lord. Fear and the pit and the snare shall be upon you, O inhabitant of Moab, says the Lord. He who flees from the fear shall fall into the pit, and he who gets out of the pit shall be caught in the snare. For upon Moab, upon it, I will bring the year of their punishment, says the Lord. Those who fled stood under the shadow of Heshbon because of exhaustion. But a fire shall come out of Heshbon, a flame from the midst of Sihon, and shall devour the brow of Moab, the crown of the head of the sons of tumult. Woe to you, O Moab! The people of Chemosh perish. Chemosh, Chemosh. It's probably some god about it. Woe to you, it's capitalized. Woe to you, O Moab! The people of Chemosh perish. Maybe it's like the capital or something. Woe to you, O Moab! The people of Chemosh perish. For your sons have been taken captive, and your daughters captive. Yet I will bring back the captives of Moab in the latter days, says the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab. Now see, against the Ammonites, thus says the Lord. Has Israel no sons? Has he no heir? This is chapter 49. Why then does Milcom inherit Gad, and his people dwell in its cities? Therefore, behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, that I will cause to be heard an alarm of war in Rabbah of the Ammonites. It shall be a desolate mound, and her villages shall be burned with fire. Then Israel shall take possession of his inheritance, says the Lord. Wail, O Heshbon, for Ai is plundered. Cry, you daughters of Rabbah. Gird yourselves with sackcloth. Lament and run to and fro by the walls. For Milcom shall go into captivity with his priests and his princes together. Why do you boast in the valleys, your flowing valley, O backsliding daughter, who trusted in her treasures, saying, who will come against me? Behold, I will bring fear upon you, says the Lord God of hosts, from all those who are around you. You shall be driven out, everyone headlong, and no one will gather those who wander off. But afterwards I will bring back the captives of the people of Ammon, says the Lord. Ammon, the Ammonites. And these are regions of old, like yesteryear, by Sodom and Gomorrah and Canaan and the Dead Sea and just to I think the southeast was like Moab, right? Now that's the beginning of 49. The next one is the judgment on Edom. It's continuous, but it's a completely different one, and I bet it's similar to Obadiah because it's Edom and it's Yahweh, and he's just like that. But, there's As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors, says the Lord, no one shall remain there, nor shall a son of man dwell in it. So that's a little sneak peek for the judgment on Edom. And the terrible ones, the territory of wickedness. Yeah, Edom from Obadiah. See, if you read it verbatim, shoot, but you don't like that anymore. Oh, you hate that Malachi. God damn, I say. I don't think you ever liked him, Reek. All right, well, anyway, I'm posting this, and bang, bang, bang.